Go ahead.
Hey there, my name is Kyle Simmerly. I'm a third year here at Berkeley, transferred out of UC Santa Cruz after my first year to try and join this ostensibly public civic stage here at Berkeley. My question for you, I came to this teach-in to learn of solutions. And as a college student, I'm sure all of us can relate to our love of Cliff Notes. Am I right in summarizing your offered solutions thusly? You want us to realize our political potential, and you want us to utilize our political potential to, one, convince our neighbors, friends, and acquaintances that we need to vote thusly on some issues. We need to vote to restore majority rule in the legislature, and we need to vote to restore new levels of taxation and revenue streams that go straight to the heart of the university and public reinvestment. Is that a correct summarization?
I'm sure we would each have a few things to add to that, although I would definitely give you a name.
Immediate things we can do, like in 2009 or 2010.
I just want to add to the things you're going to talk to your neighbors and parents and others about. I really think that unless we can restore an appreciation of public institutions and public values, even just basic liberal democratic values, as opposed to measuring everything according to the criteria and the measures of the market, that we won't even get off the, we won't begin to do any of the other things you accomplish. So I think to make your task just a little more complicated, I also think that we all must find ways to instigate a different kind of discourse about public institutions and public values than the one that has been in play, gaining steam for the last 25 years. To achieve those other things. Most of our neighbors do not want to pay more taxes. They have to be reminded of what the public value of the goods is that they would be paying for. That would be what I would add. I'm sure.
I guess the only thing I would add to that, that it starts with your fellow students, and to really affirm what's been said tonight about the importance and value of open debate. That is that dialogue of different ideas that is actually the definition of the university.
The only thing that I'll add is to remind you from the beginning that we said that this was not simple, that the ideas were complex, and part of what we're also saying is that you can't, this is not a soundbite solution. This is an engagement in complicated conversations. You can have them. You've been listening. You can have them. But it's not simply about one simple answer to a simple question. It's about looking at the kinds of analyses that Wendy was just talking about.
Yeah, can I just underscore that? Because I think it's terribly important for us all to understand and to dedicate ourselves to the proposition that we are a learning community, that we can learn from each other. The last thing anybody up here wants you to do is to take our values and persuade somebody else that our values are correct. That's not what this is about. This really is about engagement. It's about learning. It's about understanding. It's about figuring out what actually is going on and where the best pressure points are to make it better. Solutions are going to be very, very different and may not be what we are recommending or anybody individually is recommending up here.
Over here.
Coming out, it's very inspiring and informative to really like it. My name is Ashoka Finley. My affiliation with the primary affiliation, I would say my major, is working with the student group called Students for Global Citizenship. Building off the two questions that were answered previously, the first question was based on engaging the administration and also engaging the legislator in political power. My question to you is a third option, bargaining power. Professor Roy, you mentioned how these fee hikes are essentially being borne on the backs of the working poor and middle classes, something I learned in your class, Professor Reich. I think as a rallying point, as students, something that we all incur is the payment of fees. Do you think maybe proposing or threatening a fee boycott by the student population at large would be something that would motivate?
Are you looking for an answer that says yes? Go ahead and show us your fee boycott. You're not going to hear that necessarily from the faculty. What you're going to hear is that you're going to all of you know how to make decisions. I think what you heard tonight is that we need to change processes and forms of decision making in the state, but that we also need to do that here in our own institution. Yeah. We need to democratize the University of California, Berkeley, as well. And we need to find a range of strategies, pressure points, if you will, to do that. And I think that is going to be key. Whether or not that pressure point is fees, I don't know.
Thank you.
I would just add, since our moderator is busy, I think it's a brilliant idea, and I would offer a slightly... I would say that you should pay the fees that you are now being billed, and not pay the increase. That's what we used to do when we were organizing tenants, and the landlords would increase the rents in anticipation of our imposing rent control. Just pay the same fees, organize that. I bet you would get 80% of the student body to be willing to join, even the ones who don't like being in rooms like this. So I think it's a brilliant idea. I actually think it's a very, very smart protest. And on each check should be something like, in the name of public education.
Creativity of the idea. But let's be very practical in terms of signals that we send. I think it's critically important that we, at the most prestigious and, in some senses, most elitist, if you will pardon that expression, institution in higher education in this state, apart from the private universities, be sensitive to the fact that so many people in this state are losing public services. So many primary and secondary schools are in deep, desperate problems. Social services are being slashed all over the state. And we have to be we just have to be critical, we just have to be sensitive to the fact of, what is the public going to make of us if we act in certain ways that may sound or may be interpreted as either self-indulgent or insensitive to the other people in the state who are much more desperately driven than we are.